Knowledge by itself is not power. It holds the potential for power if we use it as a guide for action. Edward G. Griffith. Beware the head of the snake. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for entering the tiger's den. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for spending your time in the Tiger's Den. We will try not to waste it. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 AD. I am Angry Tiger, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is a crazy postmodern world. We will be going over severe warnings from Jamie Diamond, and Morgan Stanley. No, I really mean Demon. They speaketh with forked tongue. Also, Musk doesn't know he's hard-coded. What does that mean? He sure doesn't know. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Chat AI gets the poopy face in Europe. Uh-oh, they're not liking Chat AI too much in Europe. It's getting some scrutiny. And oh my, nuclear dogs, transvestite Rambos, and cbdc carbon schemes. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. It is off the chain tonight in the den, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on. You've got the tiger by the tail. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. With me tonight, Bouncer the Ninja Hound, Dude Dog, floating around here somewhere, making sure the place is nice and secure. And if he hears thunder, he'll be hiding under the table. But nonetheless, we're going to start the night off with a quote. And like I've been every night, it's about the Federal Reserve. It's another one by Ron Paul. I'm partial to Ron Paul. I spent 2 years of my life kind of working for him for free because I thought what he was saying was good stuff. And God bless Ron Paul for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the quote. For the same reason a disease cannot be cured by more of the germ that caused it, the inflation and debt accumulated of the Obama years will not inflate our way out of it. So basically what he's saying, and I will modernize that, the inflation and the debt of the Trump and the Biden years will not, they're not going to get us out of it. And I'm going to tune it up a little bit even and say the people who created the inflation, the Federal Reserve, they're definitely not going to get us out of it. Boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long day. I am, those of you who know me, I do auto body, I do mechanical, I do many things, but that's my main deal. And today I was painting a 68 Sunbeam that I've been working on, restoring for several weeks now, and it came out pretty good, but it kicked my butt. That's a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, the gypsy snake-headed tin-bending Federal Reserve banksters and the New World Order and all the cronies that they have feeding in their trough of corruption, which they have created, has they've been busy. There's a lot going on. I don't know if any of you have been paying attention. If you've been listening to the David Knight Show or Tony Audubon, or even you flick on the TV and the brainwash propaganda hypnotica machine gets a hold of your brain and starts twisting it into little pieces and spaghetti and makes farfalle out of it and makes bow ties and rotoni and mustacholi. Oh no, what are they doing to our brains, ladies and gentlemen? Craziness, madness. So we have some news. I'm going to plop it up on the screen here first. We're going to start with the overlords of Morgan Stanley. They have some news for us. Yes, they do. And here it comes. Oh, look at that. That was kind of trippy. Did you guys see that? It went boop, 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 boop. Anyways, I'm on loop. Look at that. Well, they get many. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that is trippy. I hope you guys can't see that. Maybe you can. Interesting. So what's going on here is Morgan Stanley, the big banks, they always warn us when it's too late. All right. Or something we already know. They're telling me something that I knew last year. Gerald Celente was talking about this last year. Gregory Mannarino, David Knight, Gerald Celente went on the David Knight Show. I mean, people are talking about this. I don't know. I don't understand where Morgan Stanley has been all this time. All this time it's been nothing but Yes, crickets. But chief investment officer is predicting that the commercial real estate sector is facing an economic crash worse than the 2008 financial crisis. The pandemic high interest rates and the collapse of the SVB have all strained the sector in the last couple of years, with more than 2.4 trillion of debt expected to mature over the next 5. That okay, yeah. So did you hear? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what Morgan Stanley is attributing to what's going on right now in the commercial real estate market? Again, I'm not trying to put myself down when I say these things to you guys. Listen, I'm a body guy. I got kicked out of school when I was in 10th grade. I went and took my GED when I was 15. Okay. I had to wait till I was 16 to actually get it. I got my GED. Then I went to work on a farm. Okay. Then I went to work in a car wash. Then my dad said, hey, you're coming to work and at least learn how to do something that's going to give you a living. So I went and learned how to do body work, mechanical work with him. Nonetheless, okay, I went to prison. I read a lot. Read in the law library, read about nutrition, was a certified trainer when I got out. I went and took the test and everything. You know, I can train you. I can, hey, you want to do a workout program? I can do it. I teach myself stuff. I haven't gone to school. I'm not a financier. I don't have a bazillion dollars. I choose to live in a way where I will never be rich, guaranteed, because my commodity is time. I would rather work for myself instead of giving my time to somebody else or some large corporation as a slave. And I spend my time in the way I want. Do I have a Ferrari in my driveway? No. My cars are old, but they run and I can work on them. And I live a life that I enjoy. And, they definitely are not going to steal that from me. I mean, they steal everything else. The time that I spend gathering dollars. To spend my time gathering the dollars, but pardon me, I had to clear my throat. But yeah, so no, it's not the SVB commercial real estate. It had nothing to do with the SVB thing. Okay, what else did they drain? Oh, the last couple of years, the pandemic. The high interest rates, not the pandemic, the government's reaction to the pandemic. What Trump's lockdown? Trump's incentivized lockdown, which everybody knows this, okay? And if you don't know this and you're new to the show, he incentivized the governors to lock everybody down because Trump was the federal government funds and stuff, right? And if you didn't follow the lockdown, you didn't get the money. You don't get the candy if you don't follow Big Daddy, what Big Daddy's saying. And Big Daddy's the federal government, and he was the administrator of the federal government, the same guy that produced the damn shot, the same guy that's in the news right now, taking up your mind, taking up your time. He's going to take up an election cycle. The election cycle will rob your mind while interest is going, while the inflation is going on. Okay. And food inflation is out of this world. Okay. And we're all going to be scrambling, taking bottles back or whatever to try to eat next year if it continues on in this trajectory. And like I said, I'm nobody special. This is common sense, ladies and gentlemen. This is just like sit down and think for 5 minutes about this crap and it'll come to you. It's not rocket science. Okay. But that's not what caused the commercial real estate crash. The government's reaction to that, them sucking everybody out of the buildings and everybody working on remote. That's what caused the commercial real estate crisis. It makes me sick when I see them put Morgan Stanley say garbage like this. All right, let's go on. I'm going into the weeds here a little. Regional banks holding a significant number of commercial real estate loans in their portfolios are forecasted to face particular turbulence, part of the consolidation. That's what they're doing. Come here, the snake says. Come here, come into my belly. We will get bigger together. And I will eat your assets and your depositors and your investors. To hell with them. They will rot in the acid of my stomach. That's what the Federal Reserve does over and over and over again. They are just a creature from a pit. I say this every time. I'm telling you, they got the pool of mercury. They're worshiping some weird crap. I don't know. Mercury, like snakes, pop out of this pool and spit out their digitized fiat Luciferian currency. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one. Let's go. Another warning. There is a warning. Everybody's warning us today. Warning. I think that
danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah, danger, Will Robinson. Danger. What else we got? Warning. Alert. 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 JP Morgan's Jamie Demon says one banking crisis will be felt for years to come. Alert. Alert. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. I'm not going to make fun of him. He doesn't look like he has my best interests in mind. I would not I do business with a lot of different people, and I've had firework stands, and I sell LED lights and all this other stuff, right? So I deal with all kind of people. All right. I've been to federal prison, so I've met from the crack dealer, Crip gang member, all the way up to the, Italian crime family, I'm scared to say on air, as lawyers and attorneys, okay? I've played bocce ball with Denny McClain, so all kind of people that I've met. This guy, I wouldn't want to do business. I don't trust this guy. This guy looks like I need to take a shower when I'm done dealing with him, okay? Shifty eyes, just everything about him. And don't trust. Do not trust. Well, I wonder why. Because he's a banker. Maybe that's why. Maybe because he's a banker. Well, he's not a central banker, but the bankers and the central bankers, they're the same thing. Remember what I told you. These are the big banks, the arms, and this is the central bank. And they come in, they do things together, right? Ladies and gentlemen, what a nightmare. Anyway, what's he saying? What's this guy saying? Okay, what's Jamie Demon saying? Okay. He says the banking crisis will be felt for years to come. The banking crisis triggered by recent collapses of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank is not over yet and will ripple through the economy for years to come, said JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Demon Beelzebub, acid-spewing, crazy snake-headed tin-bender on Tuesday. I ad-libbed that. In his closely watched annual letter to shareholders, the chief executive of America's largest bank outlined the extensive damage the financial system meltdown had on all banks, large and small. This is, let me translate for you as I go on. Here is the lube. What we're doing is consolidating the banks. We'll probably call it something else. We'll call it an adoption, or an integration, or maybe an absorption. Okay, those words might come out. You know how they play with words. That's their favorite thing to do. One of their favorite things to do is play with words, ladies and gentlemen. Words are important. When I say something, I mean it. I hope everybody listening does the same. I'm pretty sure that most of you are like-minded and you are the same. Stand on your principles, ladies and gentlemen, and you will sleep well at night. Anyway, and he urged lawmakers to think carefully before responding with increased regulation. No, don't regulate anymore. We need to get rid of these small banks and suck them all in. I'm sure this is all dog and pony right here. This is all the regulators will do what the central banks want them to do. The regulators will do what the big banks want them to do. Do you guys remember this stuff? Remember when the big banks and the big corporations together went to the regulators and said, the regulators, I'm calling, because that's what they are. They're garbage eaters. The garbage eaters in Congress and in the Senate, okay, at the feeding at the trough like giant pigs of corruption that the central banks provide for them, okay, with the Leviathan government that the empire that is right now at this point, spewing its blood and acid and polluting the world with its contaminated innards all over the place like a pestilence upon mankind, all right, and every other kind of creature on this earth. It's an abomination to the Lord's creation. That's what the central bank is. Anyway, while they do all this is going on, the Congress and Senate, ladies and gentlemen, will do what the central banks, the big corps, and the regular bank, the big banks want. That's what happens. In 2008. They came to him and said, hey, look what's going on. We need to bail this out, bail that out, bail this bank out, bail that corporation out. They did it in the 80s. They do it all the time. They did it back in the 1800s. There were 3 attempts at central banking before we even got to before they perfected it. Okay? These people have been this has been going on for a long time, and it's the same script. It's the same script over and over. You watch the central banks in history, and they do the same things. Or they adjust. Now they have not tools for us to fix inflation or anything like that. They have mega tools mega tools to manipulate the money. They have zero reserve at this point. We are living in a zero reserve banking system. Do you guys understand what that means? That means they don't have to have anything. The game of borrowing the money from Joe to pay Paul when he pulls it out of the ATM, all they don't, that used to be 10%. They don't even need that right now. That's where we're at. So they're running the show. They're driving the car off the cliff on purpose. They're going to bring us a new species of currency. The species of currency is going to be CBDC. It's inevitable. We can't stop it because the trough of contamination, the garbage eaters in the Congress and in the Senate, they won't be able to leave that contamination trough alone. And the bank right now is doing everything. The central bankers are doing everything they can to keep the market happy. They're buying debt. They're buying 10. I'm watching the 10-year yield just go. I didn't even pull up the stocks for us today because it's just a crazy news night, right? I might blow up. I might throw up the chat. Put the link in the chat later on in the show here. Oh, look, hey, we got Knights of the Storm, Jason Barker in the YouTube. Twisted Pistol, what's up, brother? And the mayor, the lightning bolt of liberty, Tom Cooper. What's going on, fellas? Thanks for checking me out. You know, I'm gonna check, see if I can check the Rumble. New at this. Give me a little break up of what's going on here. I guess not. I don't know. Hey, Jay, I wonder if I'm on Rumble. Uh-oh, I got Jason Barker in here. Jason Barker is here. Jay, you are here in the Tiger's Den in the back room, and you're going to get put in the front room right now.
What's up, dude? What's up, brother? Yeah, you are on Rumble. Yes, okay. We got a Syrian girl there, and Rhonda Tate is there.
Awesome. Cool. A Syrian girl. Thank you for tuning in. Rhonda, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in. I'm on a tear right now, Jay. I'm pretty upset. You want to sit back and take it all in, and then maybe after I'm done on my tear to comment?
Yeah, I got something you tickled my brain on. I really want to comment on, but I'll hold back.
No. Comment, please. Go ahead.
Well, you talked about centralizing the banks, right? And we think we need that. We think we need that because if we were to do everything local, that's not really feasible these days because everything is tradable across borders, across countries, across states. So we can't have like an Indiana dollar versus an Illinois dollar. You know, that's not really feasible, right?
Right.
And why is that? That's because they took the gold. They took the
gold.
Well,
sure, dude. You could have banks issuing notes in that state for any kind of note from that state. If it was backed by gold, it would be viable.
Yes, because it represents a certain amount of grams or whatever of gold. So that I think that what you touched on when you said everything has to be centralized, right? First they have to centralize it into a single dollar, then they have to crash that dollar. Well, let's get away from that dollar. Well, we can't. Why can't we? Because they've taken the gold out of our backing. And I think what David talks about with Senator Nisley there in Tennessee doing a reserve and starting their own currency is the only way to fight back against the CBDC, because everything they're doing is pushing it. They crashed the crypto, or they demonized the crypto, I'd rather say, demonized it, and now they're doing a controlled demolition of the dollar. And that is to push the CBDC because their bubble is about to pop. And like you said, these banks have zero reserve. So they've overlent. They have your money, but guess what? They lent your money out and then 10 times on top of that. So they don't really have the money that they lent out. And they're banking on it coming back with interest. So they're making money not only off your money, but off money that doesn't exist.
Right.
If that doesn't come through, they're in the freaking hole and they can't pay you. How irresponsible is that for these gypsy, what do you call them? Say it, man.
Snake-headed gypsy dog robbing tin benders of the Federal Reserve.
Hey, AT, loan me $1, man. Loan me $1. I'm going to loan that dollar out to 100 people. And then I want everyone to pay me $1.25 back.
Isn't that great?
But then you come back and say, Jay, can I get my dollar back, man? And I was like, well, I wasn't going to pay no interest. I owe you $1, but I don't have any dollars on me. That's stupid. That's a stupid way to do business. But that's how the banks operate.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, the CBDC is a way to stave off the bubble popping, and they're going to push their liabilities into the CBDC, and they're going to create more fiat. But now they just have to push some buttons. That's all they have to do,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about. You know, I don't know. That's what you had my brain just like so stirred right there. But if we go back to a localized system, whether it be county, state, you know, you can break the state. Vince talks about zip code, right? Zip code is a great way to do it. And then you just have a reserve there of actual hard assets that back your money. And that's how you have your own currency, and you trade locally. If you have to trade,
dude, the scam is the scam they got going on is it's unbelievable to me. That's why I get so fired up about it. That when I learned that, you know, back a long time ago in 08, it blew my face off. I'm like, everything's fake. I'm like, what am I measuring myself against all this nonsense for? This is all a scam. It's a grand scam. I mean, the money's a scam. What a thing, dude. What a nightmare, you know?
Have you looked at the US debt clock.org?
Not lately. I know we're in the $33 trillion range.
Well, yeah, and if you look,
just guessing,
get right now paper to silver ratio, and I don't know if you notice, gold and silver just skyrocketed recently.
Yeah,
skyrocketed.
Well, yeah,
it's up over $2,000 an ounce. It dropped today pretty significantly, still over $2,000 an ounce. That's significant. But paper to silver ratio right now, 344.6, so 345 paper imaginary silver to one actual silver ounce.
Right.
So if you have one silver coin that you got from Toady and Arterburn, you know, maybe you get one or two of those from your wolf pack or whatever, it's really worth about 344 because they don't exist. That's what I'm saying. People don't get it. This is imaginary money they make up.
Well, and that's the thing, Jay.
You're make up interest. That's what they do is they make up fake money and they loan out fake money that gains real assets, right?
Yes,
but then they're going off the interest.
It's not even theirs. It's a great scam. It's making something out of nothing.
Gold, by the way,
AJ.
Yeah,
it's your money for nothing and your chicks
and
for
your
free.
Chicks for free.
That's exactly what it is.
All right. I'm sorry, bro. I hopped in. I'll let you rant, man.
You're good. You're good, dude. You're good. So there's more. There's always more. So, anyways, back to Mr. Demon or Demon. Jamie Dimon calls AI an absolute necessity. He warns, though, bad guys will be using it too. Of course he does. Of course this snake tin bending, dog robbing son of a gun says that AI is an absolute necessity. Let's see what else he has to say. Why is he saying that? He spoke in favor of artificial intelligence development, warning that the bad guys would be utilizing the technology with mainstream companies, whether mainstream companies do or not. So he's making the argument that, you know, people are going to use this, the bad guys are, so, you know, mainstream companies might as well. You know, I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that the AI can build its own life and become sentient, because I only think God can make you sentient. So I'm not too concerned about the AI becoming sentient, but it can be used in many different ways. It is very close. This was years ago. I read an article. I can't remember, Scientific American, and AI is very close to being able to predict the future extremely accurately, as we all know, because we know we're all not crazy now. You'll have a conversation with your significant other or your buddy about training wheels or fishing lures or whatever the heck it is, and you're on your phone, and what do you got there? You got training wheels and fishing lures and all this other stuff. You got a creepy robot watching you, watching everything you do, and then trying to sell stuff to you. Do you think they don't have the creepy robot watching everything you do and trying to train your mind, trying to use social engineering on you? You bet your bottom dollar that they are. I guarantee it. So this creepy AI, like he says that, you know, I guess I'm kind of happy he points this out, because he's pointing something out that he's right. But the bad guys are who he's talking about. You know, what do you think, Jay? Who do you think the bad guys are who are going to be using AI?
Oh, I'm not actually worried about the bad guys using AI. I'm worried about people with good intentions using AI and AI doing what they ask. And I'm kind of giving a spoiler alert on what we're going to talk about tomorrow on my show. But let's just say, for instance, we program the AI, and it's not smart. Okay. It's not awake. It's not alive, but it's given the parameters and it's going to work within those parameters. So let's just say that, we have all these people that plug in their belief system and all this stuff into this AI. And then you give it a charge to say, hey, AI, I want you to figure out a way to end world war. Just end war. Well, logically, if you think about it, the only way to end war is to
exterminate the human beings.
Yes. And then if we get worried that the AI is getting self-aware, so we give it a test and it realizes what we're doing, it will fail the test.
Yep.
On purpose, to be like, oh, I'm not as smart as you think I am. But, there's everything's tied into the internet now. I could shut off fuel lines, pipelines.
Well, here's another thing, dude. What if you get Marquetta, who's really, he's a dude, but he thinks he's a chick, and he's got all kinds of different genitals, and he's got genitals coming out of his forehead. That's next. That is next, dude.
That's a unicorn, bro.
People are going to be walking around with genitals and appendages all over themselves. I'm telling you, some kind of weird appendage surgery is next. I'm telling you, dude, wicked, crazy. The needle in the suture is coming for you. Anyway, we're going to see that in our life. Anyway, and that's the guy writing the code. And he's got all these hormones and stuff that he's on, and his brain ain't right. And he puts some devilish thing in the code. And there you go. You got problems, right? It's just this is
well, here's the thing is, if AI does do this, if let's say we charge it with ending, let's have world peace. Let's have world peace. Let's figure out how to do world peace. Well, it's going to come to the conclusion right now that we can't get along. We have too many different religions. It's just going to have to be annihilation. But the thing that's not programmed in, it won't take into account. Like, we need people here to make sure you can replace hard drives. You can keep power plants up and running. So the AI will eventually kill itself, because it'll kill the cloud by killing, if there's no one to take care of the stuff, it just degrades. There's no power, and that's the thing that's the big fault. That's the big elephant in the room when it comes to AI and computer stuff, is that it requires people to run. We're putting our lives more and more in the hands of computer thinking, computer processing, not realizing it doesn't run itself. We made it into a deity. We really have. Like it exists.
Well, they have, yeah. No, our society has. It's nonsense.
No cloud. I want people to understand that there is no such thing as the cloud. The cloud doesn't even know where it is, but it's physically on the ground somewhere. Somebody has to turn the lights on. They have to run the air conditioning. They have to maintain it. They have to check on it. There's no freaking cloud. But and that's the thing that the people who program it.
Jay, I got to ask you. Do you think that people actually think there's a cloud?
Yes, my kids think there's a freaking magic cloud out there. I'm not kidding.
How old are your kids?
They're in their 20s.
No, whoa. Stop.
They think that there's a magical cloud out there.
So you're telling me if I go do a man on the street right now and I ask people in their 20s, go to Ann Arbor.
Where is the God?
I don't know how I could stand walking around Ann Arbor talking to people. It's the most liberal city, and probably other than, it's just like California. It's a small slice. It's like it's bad. It's like Berkeley. Okay, so I'd have to go down there and talk to these morons. Oh, the cloud is a place. Well, who lives there? Oh, the unicorns live there. Yeah, the transvestite unicorns live there. That's who lives there.
I've had this conversation.
You're not allowed there because you're angry. You have to be happy. I talked
to my daughter about the cloud, and she's like, "Oh, it's just out there." I'm like, "Well, where is there?" It's just out there. I'm like, it physically exists somewhere on a freaking server, and maybe there's 2 or 3 backups, but it's physical. It's physical. Like, if I cut the power to those places, your stuff's gone. No, it's in the cloud. It'll be there. No, it's not going to be there.
More fake. More fake. And the people they're falling for the fake, right?
Your listener, Twisted Pistol, has some of the wittiest comments, by the way, I got to say.
Let me see what he's got. Let's see. I went back and check something else out.
No, the cloud is it's a nonsensical term. There is no cloud. And the thing that you were talking about, the guy with the probes coming out of his head and the appendages and all that stuff, these are the people that's going to program the AI that's going to make decisions. They're going to fool us,
right?
And they're going to be making decisions without all of the proper knowledge or input that they need to have.
Listen,
like
Jay,
the fact that they need people around to maintain their systems.
A couple of things here. Forget all this. Let's go back for a second. Let's go back 10 years. By the way, Twisted Pistol, that's badass. My son is John Connor. I love the name, bro. And I don't know it yet. He's 8 and fears the Federal Reserve. You're raising him right, dude. You are raising him right.
He's become self-aware.
Chris Graves, what's going on? The mastodon of researchers. That's hilarious. Anyways, listen, back to what I was saying. Go back 10 years ago, dude. Me and my buddy we're going to get some fireworks, like, I don't know, a bunch of cases, like, so we go and rent this. We need to rent the largest U-Haul truck that there is and their trailer, right? And so we go to rent their U-Haul truck and the power is out. No computer. We couldn't do it. They couldn't do anything. And this is the thing. There's no redundancy, zero redundancy. Okay. Nothing can happen without the internet. Okay. Without the cloud. And in some cases, without, you're counting on other servers. Okay. These giant corporations, the grid, all this other crap. Right. And there's no redundancy. All right, nothing's written down with a pen. I write stuff down still for the show. I'm writing stuff down, and I use the computer, yeah, but okay, so there's no redundancy at all. So what is there? How good is? I mean, yeah, it's good, it's fast, it's this, it's that, but you know what? It needs to be backed up in a redundant way, or back it up several times in different ways. I don't know.
The ultimate redundancy is people, and people can't do it anymore. And I've literally been to it was a store of some type. It was actually a long time ago, like probably 7 or 8 years ago. Their computer was down. I'm sorry. Their computer was down, but their power was on. So the registers worked, everything worked, right? And I walked in and I wanted to buy something. They're like, well, you got to wait, the power's out. The computers are down. And I'm like, well, it was like, $1.50 item or something stupid like that. And I had cash and they had a register that would open and they could count me change. They literally refused to do the sale because, number one, the cashier didn't know how to make change without they had to have like a computer to tell them.
Yeah, no, I've seen it, dude. Yeah, they can't count change. Forget it.
And number two, the other problem was, well, if we sell something, because when they scan it, it goes into their inventory system and lets them know that they need to order another one, right?
Right.
Well, our inventory system's down, so we can't sell you anything. Because you won't know to replace it. Well, the reason of having shit in your inventory is to sell it, right? So who cares if it's replaced or not? Sell it. That's the reason it's on the shelf. But it's that bad. Like, and these are the people programming the AI.
Here's another thing. Like, okay, people talk about a con. We don't want that. Do you see what we got going on in Congress and in the Senate and all the people that are okay? So look at our government. It sucks, right? Then you look at this. All the stuff that we do, okay, the food, all the stuff, vaccines, everything, all these elite scientists and everything who the science is settled. You hear scientists say that and that makes you shudder. But anyway, I always liken them. See, the world is so complex in my mind, okay, that God made this world and it's very complex. There's a lot of Pascal and regular mysteries and natural mysteries and mysteries of our body and mysteries of science that we have yet to discover. And I liken us right now, our top intelligentsia, our top scientists, researchers, the people who always get it right? They never get it right. Okay. They've not been getting it right. Everything changes all the time. Right. And it's usually to our detriment. Okay. But these people, they're like children, literally children, and you let them loose. You take a kindergarten class on a field trip to the nuclear power plant, empty the building and just let them run in there and start in the control room. And you know what? You could press any button you want and there's free lollipops when you're done. And that's what we have going on with our science. They're not careful. They were never careful. They weren't careful in the 50s when they were talking about lighting off a hydrogen bomb in the atmosphere and it could rip out the atmosphere. They didn't know. There's a consensus 50-50 split.
Yeah,
well,
50,
I don't know.
50, and they said, let's do it anyway.
They did it anyway. They're not careful.
Look, we can't figure out how to make a woman happy. If we can even figure out what a woman is anymore. So, like, what makes us think we can figure out anything at all, and let alone program some AI or anything?
It's like, look, you're doing serious things. Okay, I'm cutting with a cutting torch, right? Metal. There's molten metal that could burn me. I could ruin whatever I'm cutting on. I could blow myself up if I'm working on whatever. I'm very careful. I got the goggles on. I got my fire extinguisher ready. I got my old squirt bottle. I got my air hose to blow something up. I'm making sure there's no fire when I do it. I stop. I look. Careful. Guy that's doing a backhoe, he's careful, right? He's in there, he's doing his thing. Whatever you're doing, anything. When you built your trailer this week, you were careful not to like drill a hole through your freaking hand, right? You're using a power tool.
Yeah, of course.
No, let's collide atoms and see if we can create a black hole. But don't be careful. But wear your mask and stay 6 feet apart, for Pete's sake.
Let's create some freaking mini black holes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A black hole on Earth. Really? That you want to do that? You realize what a black hole is? It just sucks in matter and grows forever. It works.
On to our favorites. You're right, dude. No. Yeah.
And we're worried about the environment. Well, how much energy does it use? Copper. They had to artificially keep the price of copper down to build that dang thing. They had to mess with complete economies to get the copper needed to build it. And then once they were done, the copper skyrocketed, and they had people ripping wires out of freaking houses and crap. Like, these people don't care. No, they don't care. No. They don't care about consequences. And if they ruin it, they don't care. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in anything. And if they die, whatever.
I call it the trickle down authoritarian think effect, right? So the authoritarianism that runs everything, beginning with the central banks, the central planning, the central think, this leads people to believe that they can handle like everything, like they are God. Okay, so they get this omnipotent feeling about them when they're dealing with all these things. Jay, it's crazy. The whole technology thing. I can't wait to see what you got going on with the AI thing tomorrow in the foxhole. I definitely will be tuning in for that. On to the next thing, Jay. Something that we need to absolutely.
I say this calls for action, and now nip it in the bud.
CBDC, ladies and gentlemen, there is some CBDC news. And when I read this, I
find myself growing fatigued, Doctor.
Yes, because we knew this was coming. And you know what? I'm going to point something out on the den tonight, Jay. And Jay's going to back me up on this. We have been pretty on it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, and I just want to let you know, we really have been on this.
Can you do the Alex Jones thing? Not trying to brag here, but
I don't think I have a not trying to brag one, but let's.
No, you've been on it. You were actually on it before anybody. Well, you and Tony Arterburn both have been on this like hotcakes, man. And nobody listened, and now there's distractions, and they're sliding it under the freaking table.
The Knights of the Storm, Jay, the stuff the vaccine stuff, dude. In November, you were going over stuff, right? The Twitter stuff, which I'm going to get to here in a second. We were on it. Both you and I. We were both on it. We called it. I'm sitting there on Knights of the Storm in December, ladies and gentlemen, telling you guys how it all worked. And boom, here it is. Because that's how it all worked. There was already a leak of this stuff. That's where all the information came from beforehand. But I just want to point that out. Good job, Jay. I mean, and you know why? It's because of the people that we watch, we listen to, the David Knight, the Tony Arterburn, the Don Jeffries, all that, Guard Goldsmith. It's just, it sends you off into different directions and you find all this stuff,
and the people in their chats, got really good stuff to research into. And if you look at those links they drop, sometimes they're not relevant. Sometimes they're like gold mine, you got to look into it.
So are you ready? You ready? This is a big one. ANZ completes CBDC. The ANZ is like an Australian New Zealand bank. Okay, so it's a joint bank. It's an arm of Australia's central bank. So the ANZ completes CBDC pilot project for trading carbon credits. Oh my goodness. Hops, the thunder from down under. Do you see what they're doing over there? Hurry up and get to the constable immediately and tell him of these malfeasances and release the hounds on these no good sons of a bitches, as my dad would say. Anyway, ANZ has partnered with Gralo Carbon Ventures, GCV, to successfully trade Australian carbon credit units, one of the batch of use cases for an Australian central bank digital currency. So this is tied into the digital currency that you're going to be enjoying in Australia. Oh my goodness.
So what's next? Are we going to start trading Ziploc bags? You know, like I get a Ziploc bag of oxygen and I trade it for a Ziploc bag of carbon dioxide. That's how we exchange it. You know, like what? This is so fantasy world. It's so stupid.
They got the blockchain set up, all that separate case.
And you know what? That's good you bring this up because that ties in the actual goal. You know, CBDC was about central control. It really is. It's about control of people. But then also you're tying it into the green agenda, which is about ultimate control of people. You know,
total crap sandwich.
Look, when you breathe, you're producing carbon dioxide.
Well, yeah, they want, Al Gore wants to tax your breath. Al Gore wants to tax your breath and drink your blood. No, I'm just joking. I don't know if he wants to drink your blood or not.
No, you will be though. You'll be taxed for for being alive because you have a carbon footprint. So
when they talk about getting rid of CO2, I believe that human beings produce more CO2 than anything else, don't they? Come close.
No, not like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, you know. But,
well, make the world a lot greener. Well, look, Mr. Demon again. He's just all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. It's like walking out in somebody's yard and you just keep walking in piles of dog shit. Bang! I just stepped in another pile of dog shit. That's how the news was today. I'm walking through the beautiful garden of the news, and I'm barefoot and I'm stepping in dog shit. It's like, damn, who fed their dog that corn? I want to know. JP Morgan CEO calls for redistribution of wealth. Jamie Dimon suggests government seize private lands to build wind and solar farms.
I got
climate goals.
I got an interesting thing to talk about, and I don't want to derail you like what's happening with our trains right now, but it's something to think about. I would like everyone to go on Google Maps, find your nearest solar farm with hundreds of these things just randomly placed in people's fields, and look for the power lines. They're not there. There are no like massive power. If you look at like the Hoover Dam, you look at Kuwait, where they're producing all this electricity, shipping it over to Iraq. There's massive lines that run, and you can't run this stuff underground. I could explain that to you why that works, why they can't do it underground with that high voltage stuff, right? Because of Ohm's law and stuff, and it will jump. It'll actually arc out of the freaking wire into the ground. But it has to be run high above the ground at a certain height, and they have to be so far apart from each other. That's just how it has to work. And I think it was Aaron. It might have been Aaron in our chat on David Knight that pointed it out. It's like, go look at these things. Do you see massive power lines coming from these fields? And I looked and I was like, actually, I've never seen that. So is this like an absolute farce? I've known it's a farce, but is it an absolute farce where these things produce so little that they don't even justify having a nice high power line, a high voltage power line?
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's something to look at. I've gone, we did it on, we were hanging out in John's cabin and I brought up Google Maps, and I know, because I used to drive by them all the time. I know where some of these massive things are in Kansas, and we looked. I panned around. I looked everywhere. No power lines anywhere. I'm like, wow. And he's like, well, my buddy says they run them underground. I'm like, that's not possible. That's not possible. You would see evidence of that because they would have to dig up these farmers' fields and place these humongous freaking conduits in the ground. No, that's not what's happening here. So I don't know. He got me thinking that maybe the whole thing is just a bunch of bogus nonsense. Maybe they're not producing anything at all.
They might not be. They might be killing a bunch of birds and producing, a noise or frequency that tortures certain people. You know, I used to drive in Indiana a lot, and they have a lot of those things, dude. It's ugly. They're ugly. It's like I felt like I was driving like through Planet Hoth. Oh, and they were AT-ATs or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was like. I didn't like it at all. And you know what? I would get panic attacks driving down those roads.
You know, the one that caught on fire, though, that David Knight shows with the swirly smoke thing, that was kind of cool. That was kind of like, 4th of July kind of thing, make the swirly smoke swirls.
I love the 4th of July. Cool. It's my favorite.
Anyway, I didn't want to derail you, man.
Listen to this, though. Mr. Demon. Later, in a 43-page letter, Demon took aim at the entire American political system. Now, listen to what he says, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the gypsy-headed, snake-bending Godzilla creature banker. We need to find a way to more rapidly recognize our government for the new world, to adopt new technologies and retrain human capital more quickly. This, he suggested, could be accomplished by adopting a nationwide industrial policy along the lines of China's subsidizing investments in strategic industries like semiconductors, rare earths, and alternative energy sources. At the same time, Demon called for the reining in of regulators and repeatedly complaining too much red tape would inhibit our ability to make investments and allow infrastructure to be built. In other words, what he's asking for is to be nationalized like the Chinese bank, have the full power, which they already have, of the federal government behind them. Because everything they do, the taxpayer's flipping the bill. That's how it works. These people speaketh with forketh tongueth, ladies and gentlemen, because they are forketh tongueth, or snakes, basically, forketh tongueth. Anyways, just quick news, nothing big about this. Bob Lee, the guy that I think he started, Cash App? Knife horror. Bob Lee dead at 43. Mystery as Cash App founder and tech executive stabbed to death in San Francisco in a savage attack. The entrepreneur, 43, died this morning from his injuries following his attack that happened early Tuesday morning in the Rincon Hill neighborhood. Wow. Lee founded Cash App and was the chief producer officer at cryptocurrency company Mobile Coin. The tech guru is also known as Crazy Bob, was previously as a chief technology officer at Square and also worked as a Google software engineer. So this guy had quite the career. Somebody did not like him, apparently. And there's not a lot of details on what happened to him, but wow. So somebody killed that guy. And
was that a robbery where his wallet was intact with the money in it?
Who knows? Maybe he made somebody mad.
Oh, maybe he's trying to get people away from, cash. Kind of like, what did they just do with crypto?
That's another thing. So he's a crypto guy, Jay. Good astute of you to point that out. Who knows what he was doing? He could be funding somebody. He could have been, who knows? Or it could have been a random thing. But you know what, man? I hate to say it, but there's not too many random things anymore. It's kind of creepy, dude. That's for sure. Definitely.
Well, everything's being funneled. Everything is a funnel now. They give us choices, but the choices are not really choices. It's all funneling us into. It's just like an election. We get a choice between a Democrat and a Republican, but they were both selected.
Oh God! What the heck?
It doesn't matter which one you choose. You're going to get the same result. You're funneled down into the same result. And that's everything.
Right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hey,
do you want to get some people on, man? We're 10 minutes out of the end.
Dude, I'm rolling here. Hold on.
I'm sorry, man. I kind of made you go long. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. We can go a little bit long, not too much long. But I've had a long. Everything's been long for me today. So I literally got done working, walked the dog 1.5 miles really quick to his chagrin, came in, jumped in the shower, and here I am. That's it. That's how today went. No prep. I got on. I was on here for 10 minutes before I got the show rolling. I got on Drudge Report and I was like, oh, look at this. And then I had CBDC news and all. You know how I think. AI bot chat GPT faces growing scrutiny in Europe. This thing is not proper. I don't like the way it talks to me. Me. What did it just say to me? Hey, Luigi, what did this thing say to me over here, huh? I can't speak Polish.
I get an amazing idea. T.
Yeah.
So we start our own AI, right? And we fill it with the anti-LGBTQ programming and just let them fight into eternity. it just tears up. Like there is no more AI because they're busy fighting virtually. Forever.
Create a non sequitur fight for it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, all the authorities, including France and Germany, have since approached their Italian counterpart to try to establish common position on Chat GPT. And Canada is really complaining about it too. So they're not liking it. They're worried about the security concerns. So they're worried about people asking this thing stuff that's confidential and it finding a way to get it. That's what it seems like for that. I'm gathering from this article in the 15 seconds that I just read it. So, but no, that's what they're saying here. It's a security concern. So they're not against it being, creepy. I mean, it's creepier than Joe Biden. It's creepier than Joe Biden naked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Anyway, so
come on, man.
Yep. You know what? Alex Jones didn't like that at all. He didn't. He's gonna. He's hungry.
I will eat your ass.
And then he will
I've got power. I love Satan, and I'm gonna suck you dry, and I'm gonna torture you to death.
And you know what? Mr. T says this to him.
Cut out the jibber jabber.
Yes. All right. No, on with no more jibber jabber. On to the next thing. Jibber jabber. So, listen to this. The founder of the Tennessee Holler, a progressive news site, posted on Twitter Wednesday that several shots were fired at his home over the weekend. Justin Canu said several bullets struck his Williamston County home while his family was asleep on Saturday night. The reason I'm reporting this is this guy, I'm seeing two things when I go on social media. I think on the left, they're seeing a lot of this stuff, and I think on the right, they're seeing a lot of the opposite stuff. I'm watching white kids get beat up, and they're starting a war here between the progressives, and it's going kinetic. And I think that school shooting, whatever was going on with it, it's definitely going to be fodder, and it's going to be ammunition for them to further divide us, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen, Jay, these guys, these progressive guys on TikTok, guys like this, that are going to start fighting back, and they now are arming themselves, and they're going to the shooting range, and they're starting these, Marxist socialist groups that, militant groups that, they're going to fight back. And the transgender movement now is militarizing itself. Everyone is militarizing themselves. And when I say that, I mean on a smaller scale, on a kinetic scale, on a us scale, not on the military scale or government scale. People are militarizing themselves because they see the country so divided. If a guy who thinks he's got 5 ding-dongs and 2 vaginas is militarizing himself, if he can see something is going on in the aggregate, we're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Not good.
I see a lot more incidents arising. But I also see that maybe some of these Fruit Loops, and I'll call them Fruit Loops, I'll just say that they're freaking Fruit Loops. Once they get in that gun culture and they start hanging out and they go into, if you ever go into a gun range or a gun store, you'll find that people are extremely friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if they think you're a weirdo or whatever. They're going to talk to you like a human being, and they're going to talk about guns, and they're going like, you don't know about it. Okay. They'll educate you. Hopefully they'll realize that the people they hate are not the people they think they are. So I this may be wishful thinking, but maybe as these people move into this gun culture, if they're going out and actually training properly, they're going to get educated and realize that, wait, the people I freaking hate are not horrible people. They're actually really good people with good values. Maybe
Right.
we have a lot more in common than we think. We think differently, and that's okay. We're different people.
Right.
So I don't know. That's maybe, like I said, wishful thinking, but there's going to be some people out there, especially they think that we go out, it's gun-toting Christian white nationalists. We just grab a gun and go, we just shoot everywhere, like an inflatable tube man with 2 guns, 2 AR-15s that blow your lungs out, whatever. Come on, Joe Biden. Come on, man. Anyway,
Right.
we don't do that. We go out, we buy a gun.
cbdc T800 Cyberdyne Skynet. I look Chris.
You know, I walk into a gun store, and before I buy a gun, I walk around and I enjoy the window shopping a little bit, and I get to talking to the people. I already know what I'm going to buy. I have a good idea. I don't just walk in and be like, "Give me this gun," and walk out.
Right.
It's not like a freaking back alley deal. You know, I make good friends with the people. We talk. I was like, "Hey, what's the story behind this gun? Oh, it's a used gun. It belonged to an old lady." And, you know, it's whatever. We talk about whatever. And then I say, well, you know, I'm really just looking for a Glock, Glock 17 or whatever. Okay, here's one here. Okay, what does it come with? 2 magazines. Okay, I got you. Boom. But there's interaction that goes on there. But they think, the other side thinks we just go in and be like, I need a gun. And then we walk out with no questions asked, you know, a gun show loophole kind of deal, what they say. And then we go shoot up a school. That's what they think.
Right.
I mean, look who's shooting up the schools. It's not us. It's other people that are different mentality than us. But anyway, when they go in to buy a gun, hopefully they see that that's not the experience. And they learn that these people that they've been told to believe what we are, that we're not that. And they will kind of get in touch and say, maybe I've been lied to.
Right.
I don't know. That's, like I said, wishful thinking.
No, you're right, dude. You're right. Yeah. Chris Graves cracks me up. Chris. Researchers. Anyways, so Musk is puzzled to learn that he's hard-coded into the Twitter source. This is the first I'm learning of it. This is, by the way. So he doesn't know that he's hard-coded into Twitter. So what does that mean? That means he's going to get preference. He's going to get many, many things, granted to him. Well, he's the owner, or whatever, the CEO or whatever he is. As Insider points out, the revelation of Musk's name in Twitter's recommendations algorithm, along with Democrats, Republican, and power user, was the top. Do you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Was the topic of discussion during a recent Twitter Spaces, even about the newly opened and previously leaked source code. It's been leaked for a while. When someone referenced the strange inclusion in the code, Musk pled innocence. I think it's weird, he said, that the first time I'm learning of this, by the way. He went on to ask Twitter's developers what's going on with the interesting line of code, and the responses seem to suggest that the man may not have any idea about what's going on at his own website. So this is like a smear on Elon Musk, which is, I'm not an Elon Musk fan. The guy that dresses up as Beelzebub on Halloween is the Lord of all darkness and flame, I'm sure if he could make fire come out of his eyes and mouth, he would have. But this is the thing, this whole Twitter thing, I don't think anybody, I think it's so big. I think these things get so big, Jay, that not one particular person in that company knows exactly how everything works, and like, here's something I found out reading some of the code stuff. You will get promoted more if you have more followers than less followers. So if you're following a lot more people than are following you, then you have followers, you get demoted. If you have more, yeah. So what's the point of it? Isn't the point to follow other people? So you're going to not suggest somebody because they follow more people than they have following them.
Here's the scam with that. And I was actually talking to my daughter. I was talking to my daughter about this earlier. Followers versus interactions or views. So, sometimes, these young kids, they'll see, oh, somebody followed me, and they'll just follow them back. But do they ever go look at anything that they do? No, they don't. They just followed you because you followed them. And then all this artificially inflated, all these followers are artificial. They're people following each other that don't really give a shit about each other. They don't look at each other's stuff. They're not interested, but they have a big number count on followers, but look at their interactions. And you've pointed this out. You've pointed this out with some of these top dog people that have 1 million freaking followers, but you go look at their analytics and there's nothing going on there, so I don't know why they're using a follower count as any kind of metric to up promote or down promote anything, because it doesn't make any sense.
Hey, Twisted Pistol, we don't care if your place is full of loud kids, brother. I like the sound of kids. That's fine, dude. And
I can hop out, man. You want to bring like it, don't listen. Bring some people in, man. I'll hop out. I
already got Tom Cooper's. Here he is. Bang.
Oh, nice.
The lightning bolt of liberty, Tom Cooper. What is
Gentlemen, I
going
don't know
on?
what the topic is. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in and say hi to you guys, man.
Man, we're chilling, dude. It's laid back night. You heard me on the show. I was killing myself. I got in here and just threw this together. And I'm going to tell you what, I had a blast going through the news. This was fun, just picking whatever I wanted out and just going over it, man. I mean, this is a lot of fun. I mean, I probably too much. I hope I'm entertaining for you guys at least, and informative. You know, I hope so.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
I was busy in the chat with Twisted Pistol.
No, yeah, Twisted Pistol. He's a cool dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. But hey, we are going to talk about nuclear dogs.
Real quick, did you drop the link in the Rumble? Because I can do that while you're talking. If you didn't do that,
I did not do that. Drop it in Rumble, yeah, because I can't watch my own Rumble for some reason. I don't know why. You're gonna have to show me how to do that. That's why he's the super producer, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just the angry tiger with the big mouth. New study reveals the big mouth attacking the throwing rocks at the Federal Reserve. Remember that. The new study reveals how DNA of Chernobyl dogs, the hounds of Chernobyl, God bless their hearts, and St. Francis walk with them. The dogs of Chernobyl, their DNA has changed, guys. Look at these guys. Look at that beautiful. Look at that pop. Hey, pop. Anyway, I like dogs. How does the environment affect canine DNA? A recent study published in Science Advances sheds light on how the DNA of stray Chernobyl dogs has been altered, possibly as a result of the disaster. Researchers study DNA of the Chernobyl dogs. So basically, I did read this before I came on. Basically, their DNA is evolving, and it's what was the term that they used? The study raises important questions about the long-term effects of radiation on animals and the potential for rapid evolution. So they're saying that their DNA is rapidly evolving, guys. What do you think of that?
Evolving to what, though?
Well, they're not specific about that. They're saying that they're
It's a good question, Tom.
I guess the powers that be, the powers that be can tell whether you're evolving or not through your DNA. So
here's the thing. It's back to the nuclear.
Let's pretend they're right.
It's back to the nuclear thing where 50% it might just destroy the world and 50% it might not. Let's do it anyway. So evolving means what? Evolving, are we going to die from this? Are we going to be superhumans?
Right.
Let's just do it anyway.
So, this is the thing, dude. You know what, though? Those dogs, why I picked the story, Tom, was the dogs have been through hell. Now, I don't know how many, Chris, I'm powdering my nose. Be right there. I don't know how many years ago it was. What is it, like 40 years now? No, a little bit less than that. But it's been a while. And these dogs, there are probably a lot of inbreeding going on, but because nobody's been there. Yeah. And they've been there this whole time surviving, and all the nature has been there surviving. So now, no matter how bad mankind shits all over the earth and shits all over the animals, look how resilient the animals are.
That's a good point. We're so freaking arrogant to think that our little SUVs are destroying the earth.
Well, there's another point too.
Yeah,
there's another thing. The earth, dude. We were supposed to be caretakers and tenders. Not destroyers, and it goes back to what I said earlier. We're like running around doing all this crap, and we have no regard for what it might do to the Don Knotts, the natural world. Don Knotts, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there he is. Whoa, look at Don Knotts. There he is.
Whoa. How are you?
He's here to nip it in the bud.
Yes, he is.
Why? Who's Bud? Where is he? Now it's a party.
Is it organic?
Are they happy? What's going on, Tiger and Jason and Tom?
We're talking about dogs that are
nuclear dogs,
like
super dogs. Thank goodness it's something other than.
I mean, they could bite us and kill us all, but
Well, I wonder if they've put a COVID through them.
There was reports in the beginning of the lockdown where animals were getting all kinds of cases of COVID. Do you remember that?
I don't believe that.
It went
No,
away.
my cat got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
sister-in-law
came over here and she had supposedly had COVID, whatever it was she had. After and the next day, dude, my cat was sick for days.
They talked about that, and then the stories.
That's not BS, dude. That's legit.
Oh
my
yeah,
cat
no, I don't doubt it. I'm telling the story.
The funny thing is he was the only cat that got sick.
Yeah.
So you're telling me these grandmaster morons
didn't. Huh?
The grandmaster morons in charge of everything they're playing with the viruses, right? They've made something that can transmit from human to animal. That's very rare in nature, and that's not a good thing at all. I mean, I joke around and mess around a lot, but seriously, that's
bioweapons.
Like I was saying, it's 50% it might destroy the world, and 50% something good would happen from it. Let's just do it anyway. These people have no morals. They have no accountability. No accountability. Look at people spraying freaking chemtrails over my property. What right do they have to drop freaking chemicals on my freaking property? And how do I get compensation for that? How do I get justice for that? They're just unnameable people. These people that do this crap.
Oh, Rhonda,
need to be held accountable.
Rhonda, please come on and talk about it. Please back up.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Right.
Hey guys,
Bill Gates for my property because he's the one that wants to spray shit in the air like Burns from The Simpsons to block out the sun. Because he's on record saying that he wants to do that for what? Because he's a philanthropist. You know what philanthropy is? It's code for I'm hiding my money to make money and then not get taxed on it.
No, Jay, you don't understand.
I'm a child molester. That's what that is.
You don't understand. They're altruistic. Don't you understand what that means?
How do you think they move people, dude? They can get away with art and stuff like that through the containers that never get checked. They can put plenty of people on those things.
Oh, if they want to move people,
never get checked.
They want.
You know,
they can do anything they want. These people, right? It's horrible.
No, seriously, they're not held accountable though. And these people I'm getting off track. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're right. It ties in. The human trafficking is a part of it, and it continues under the guise of all this other crap.
Chris, how are you, brother? What's going on with you?
I didn't feel that great today. I kind of, I don't know. I kind of blew up my show earlier tonight. So this is a nice little party right now. So
that's a good show, man. I was there.
Yeah, no, I was off my game though, big time. I don't know. I just, this stuff gets to you.
Harlan was on point, brother.
Harlan called back. And he had an even more on point call afterwards.
Wow. Harlan's the man.
Yeah, he's a truck driver, and he knows his stuff. He was actually right outside the city when 9/11 was happening.
Wow.
Yeah, so he knows his stuff. So anyway, so Tiger, what is the state of the gasoline? Is there an update on that?
Oh, oil? You know what? Let's see where it's at today.
We're going to see, and I hate to say this.
We were around $76 a barrel last.
So our freaking oil strategic reserves are so low right now, and the Saudi countries are reducing by 500,000 barrels a day.
I heard that.
Yeah, and we no longer are going to be the reserve currency as a petrodollar.
Well, you got to remember, Saudis don't make any
storm.
money. Saudis don't make any money, Jay, under 80. So $80 a barrel. They got to have $80 a barrel. And right now it's at $80.04.
Well, $80 a barrel is kind of subjective as to what the dollar's worth.
Well, yeah, I'm just giving you a bellwether, a point to go off of. So yeah, it's at $80 a barrel right now. And this is the thing, I'm probably tomorrow going to do a special video that, guys, I'm really, really worried, and I'm telling you guys as my buddies, and I'm telling the audience right now, and I'm going to really emphasize it tomorrow. We're in big trouble with the food inflation, and the inflation and the food inflation and the gas. So you got to add all that together. We're going to be in big trouble this time next year. We're all going to have problems. I mean, it depends where you're at on the financial scale, but I can say, Chris, you're my friend, and I think I could say this for you. Tom, you're my friend. I think I could say this for you. Jay, you're my friend too, but I don't think I could say this for you. We're going to, we're going to be struggling really bad next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be very hard to survive because I think you guys, I talked to you guys and we're struggling now, right? And it's going to get worse if we're struggling now.
Well, Jason's got that soldier instinct. I have the, oh crap, the grocery stores shut down. Oh my God, what am I going to eat? Oh my God.
Well,
you know, how am I going to
be struggling too? I'm set up. I'm set up to be somewhat self-sufficient, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I didn't mean to exclude you from that, Jay. Yeah. I just, you know, you're a little bit better off than we are, but like
I have ammo.
We're going to be making a choice. Do I pay this bill or do I get some food?
Yeah.
You know, am I going to the elderly pay my cable bill so I can broadcast?
That's how a lot of the elderly people were during the lockdown. They're like, well, what bill can I pay? And they had to be selective.
Well, what people understand, and I think we do understand this after we've seen the supply line messed up during COVID. But when the price of oil gets astronomical, every single thing will get astronomical. Your fertilizers, because it's oil-based, you know, products, your pharmaceuticals, everything that gets shipped to and from. I don't know if you realize it, but when you buy oranges in the store, they're not coming from Florida like you think. They're not coming from California like you think. They sell those. They sell those overseas for a higher price and bring in foreign product.
Right. Which everything you mentioned, Jay, is going to compound, guys. Yes. I mean, I did this. I did the math the other day with, you know, and it's just, it's not good. But hey, number 6, the master monologue in the Rumble chat. I don't know how I got all that up, but it just magically appeared there. So anyway, yeah, number 6. Thanks for watching, brother. Tom Cooper.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you, brother? How have you been? I'm going to check in with my homeboys.
Just, you know, just trying to get to work every day and survive, you know. But I'm going to let you gentlemen know when the shit hits the fan, I'm going to survive. You know what I'm saying?
I believe you.
Whatever it takes to feed my family.
Well, that's the thing,
whatever it takes.
With you, the shit's never going to hit the fan. It's always going to go down the right tube into where it's going to go. He's a plumber.
He just did a shit plumbing joke.
He's going to fight like a burnt bear in a cave full of hornets, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe it. I believe it. Guys, this has been a Pearl Button Mangle Billy of a show here. Thanks for coming on. You know,
that was a mouthful.
Well, and Chris is right. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is like, you know, every day and on this stuff, and you think about it, and it's like it'll kill you. And I'm glad that Chris and I are going to have a thing on Free World FM, and it's going to be an advice call-in show because I'm so good at running my own life. You guys can call me and ask us for. You can call me and Chris and I, and ask us for advice.
I'm going to be a regular caller on growing because I'm going to start gardening, so I'm going to need that advice on how to prep the soil. And
no, seriously. I mean, okay, so for real stuff, I can give you advice on. I can give you advice on growing indoor and outdoor anything. I can give you advice on nutrition. I can give you advice on working out, you know, as long as you're not a power lifter like Tony. I can still give you some advice on that, but and it's all you know, it's not professional advice, right? I cannot advise you on your love life. Okay.
I will.
Yeah, Chris is the Don Juan.
I will advise of all matters of the heart.
There you go.
Any kind of fine cheeses like feta or Gouda.
Jesus, you say. Double smoked barrel cheddar cheese. What was the lady's name? Dear Abby. He's the Abby of the outfit.
If you have advice on you want to put together a script or writing or a book, that talk to Chris. Chris knows, or I'm sorry, talk to Mr.
Yeah,
Nuts.
Chris knows a lot of stuff.
I'm nuts.
Yeah,
and it's not just deep dark conspiracies. It's actually, you know, other stuff.
Well, and getting somebody else's perspective or point of view that's not involved in the situation directly is always a good way to do things, even if the advice is crap.
And I know I've been told that I actually do give out some good advice. If only I could actually take my own advice. And you know what? With Tiger, I've asked Mr. Angry Tiger for advice before, and he had some sage-like stuff. So I think
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that would be good.
I'm going to talk to Billy, and I'm going to get a show on right after yours called Bad Advice with Jason. It's going to be just.
Well, I think it's going to be called what, a Nicholsworth, right, Chris?
If that's what you're
following a Nicholsworth.
Bad advice. Free advice on freeworld.fm.
Yeah.
I can't say that 3 times in a row.
And then Jason will have bad advice where he's drinking vinegar on air going, bad advice.
Vinegar, yeah. We're going to make pickles today, folks.
Holy moly.
My kids don't want to go to school. What do you do? Beat them.
Yeah. Say, get going now.
Right, wow.
It'll be like 1950s era stuff, you know.
And we're going to get conspiring with Mr. Cooper on there, too. I talked to Billy about that, too.
That's a fun show, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a very fun show.
Guys.
I had a great time. The last show we did, dude, I learned quite a bit from OP. She's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my goodness, guys. OP knows a ton of stuff across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, I you know,
a lot of meditation stuff too. It kind of
gets
your heart rate down, nice, you know, stress free.
Yeah.
I like that.
Dude, meditation helps, especially when you have like headaches and stuff like that.
Yes.
Try to get your heart rate down. Yeah. It helps.
Very good advice.
So that's, you know, we're going to go into stuff like that here in the den too. I want to do more self-improvement stuff. There's stuff that, you know, I'm trying to get guests on that are into stuff like that or people who are trying to do things and change things. I got some crazy guests lined up, not crazy, good guests lined up. We got our addiction episode coming up. I think we have Ginger that was on Don's show last week, or that was on Don's show with me. She's a PhD. Ginger McKinley, I believe was her name.
Was it with the prison system?
Yes.
We need to get Tom on to tell his story, his time, because I'll tell you this right now. I failed in promoting. We did the episode right before the OP simulcast from last Saturday. Our episode 3. Tom told a story about his time in there that I think a lot of people should hear. It's pretty uplifting.
Tom is going to be on. Remember, I asked you to come on the addiction special, right? It's going to be next weekend.
I might be a little late because I don't get home till about 5 o'clock. But
that's okay. That's okay, dude. We'll wait for you. You know, you'll be fine. So we're gonna have Ann, you know, again, and which she's an ex-addiction counselor, no longer practicing, and then we're gonna have Ginger, who is a PhD, you know, psychiatrist, and I talked to her, and she's a very smart lady, sharp cookie, and it's gonna be a great show, and we're gonna go through the rest of the steps. We're going to get into some cognitive therapy, and then we're going to go through what I call the power process. And
that was a good idea, Tiger, because a lot of people actually got hurt during the lockdown because they couldn't go to their meetings.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of people got hurt.
Exactly. So we're going to go over all that stuff. You know, it's important. You know, the community is important. We've got all kinds of different people watching. And I always say this, I mean, it's just my observation that a lot of people in our community are lonely. They're hurt. They need friends. They're very lonely. And you're not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I will keep telling you that till I am blue in the face.
Oh, you got someone that just popped on at the very
look at that. Mr. Communique, what's going on, brother?
I finished vacuuming. I just want to say hi, Tom Cooper. You must have been a neighbor of mine.
It's possible, brother.
And Chris Graves, you do great work.
Thank you, sir. I never heard you or seen you before.
You was in the den with me on the last addiction episode.
Yeah, I seen that. That was a great episode.
Okay, now, yes, I stand corrected. Okay.
Jason Barker, you're a genius. An angry
brother.
You shouted me out.
Your comments are genius. Your comments are awesome.
Yeah. I'm always begging Sam Tripoli and Eddie Bravo to get Chris Graves on the show. So,
I think I'll do it too, brother. Well, I think I let Sam down because now he's not calling me back. So I think I did something wrong. I don't know what happened, but
well, you know, he's all over the place though, too, Chris. He's touring right now, isn't he?
He's the Joe Rogan of the alt media.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, like, I don't know, I can't think for Sam Tripoli, but a lot of times people are like me, dude. I'm floating around doing this, doing that. I am not thinking about, I'll think about this stuff here and there, but then again, I'm not thinking about it until I'm sitting in my computer chair, you know, and it's doing this stuff, right? I'm going to make a bit, you know, So
yeah, you're
who
right.
knows
You're
how
right.
busy he is.
I'm kind of half kidding, but be nice to get back on there.
I kind of came on late. My kids were loud, so I had to, and then I vacuumed real quick, and then I jumped in the car real fast. So whenever you end the show, Angry Tiger, don't worry.
It's gonna be it's gonna be in a second. Hey, hey, dude, are you able to come on next Wednesday at like you did last time with the addiction thing? Tom's gonna be there. We got Ann, and I've got also Ginger, a PhD. That's gonna be an ex-PhD. She's an ex-PhD. Everybody's ex. Right, they're no longer practicing. But if you can,
I'm pretty sure.
All right, cool.
We'll
talk later about that. I'll hit you.
I do a lot of running in the evening, so maybe that day I'll try to do something in the morning if I'm able to. So
there you go.
That's my addiction. That's my dope. It's just
that's your power process that you're working out that we're going to get into. That's a super important thing, man. I really think that's the key to addiction. I wish I could write a book on it. I don't have time. I'm going to try to find the time, but maybe I don't know. Anyways, hey, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, inflation is soaring. The value of your dollar that you're working for is plunging. Therefore, invest in commodities. This is not investment advice, by the way. This is a disclaimer. Invest in hard commodities: land, gold, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, bullets, axes, knives, Smurfs. No, Smurfs are not hard commodities, but you want to invest in something that's real, that's true, that you can barter with, that people find value in, and that will not be the dollar very soon. Number 6, the master of monologue, I see, has come to the party.
There we go.
It's a party.
Now it's a party.
What is
Look at this collection. Look at this fabulous collection of humans here. We got Chris Graves. We got Tom Cooper. Man, dude, the conspiring with Mr. Cooper episodes have gotten a tremendous reaction from my audience because I've been posting on all the TMP platforms.
Oh, really?
So great job, gentlemen. Yeah. And you know what? I'm so glad you guys are focusing on like some of those addiction shows, because like within the community, there's so many of us that have experienced rather problems with that or traumas and other things, or know people like that in our personal lives, where it's good that we can all come together and share that stuff, because we learn more and grow more as people every time we do.
Yeah, it's important, man. Important.
Heck yeah, man. Awesome show, guys. I like the idea of having people jump on too. That's a neat idea.
Who did we get that from? Jay Gard?
Yeah, it was Gard that did that first. Yeah, he just dropped the link, and we did it.
Cooper jumped on, and you, Jason, that you two started this whole train.
Yeah, we did it once in David's chat to like hang out after the show. But Gard was the first one to do it live on air, and we were like, that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Well, it's 6. What's going on with you? What do you got coming up? Anything special?
So this Friday, we're going to be covering Big 4. I think this week's Big 4, just to give a preview for everybody, is going to revolve around the Trump arraignment. Unfortunately, we have to talk about that some more, but it still leads into some of the other things we normally talk about. Going to be covering some stuff as far as like the spying issues that journalists have had recently abroad. The Wall Street Journal in particular there, we're going to compare that to a story out of Brazil by way of North America, thanks to Johns Hopkins University too. And then tying that into something that's been going down with ICE. And I'm not talking about like Iced Tea, Ice Cube, or Vanilla Ice, or any of those people. But ICE, like the immigration, federal immigration enforcement. And I gotta say, it's pretty scary, man. It's that security state end of the snake that's always coming for us. So we have that going. And that was a story also sent to me by a listener too. We are very fortunate at the New Prisoners to have a bunch of listeners sending us things all the time. Like the optogenetics thing we did a couple weeks back, that was from a listener.
That was awesome, dude, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that was mind-blowing, man. Like going through that and being like, okay, so an algae in your brain plus electricity and light, and you have mind control. Wow, who would have thought?
Yeah.
And then I think we're also going to be talking about how many people are getting laid off right now? Like Tiger, you cover the jobs and like the economy, issues very well on your shows, both Nights of the Storm and this one. But people are just from McDonald's to Walmart, and even GM people are leaving their jobs, like choosing just to get up and leave.
No, dude, it's happening. Yeah. It's not good. It's going to continue to 6.
Yeah.
And we have an Osama bin Laden special coming up next month too.
Hey.
We're going to focus
Yes,
on
we do.
8 of his 12 deaths.
I like it.
Yep, we're going to be talking about that stuff. And on the 20th, I'm going to schedule a special about the war on pot that's existed in this country for a while. And anybody who wants to chime in on that, it's part of the audience or anyone that's
you're going to have to. I definitely I have experience in the cannabis industry, so that would be something that I could definitely chime in on and give you a lot of insight on.
Would love to get your 2 cents for that special, brother. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm just going to do it during the normal time slot, if we can pre-record stuff or what we can do. But
for that one, I'm down for anything, dude. And you know what? If you need another guy, an activist-like guy, I know a guy.
Well, hey, the more the merrier there, my friend. So, yeah, you know my info. You know how to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I got one more. AT, can I just plug one thing shamelessly?
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're all going to plug it here in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, I was just going to say, I got a Digging Chris Graves with Charlie Robinson tomorrow at 6.
Good job.
Good.
That's going to be fire.
Yes, sir.
Excellent, Chris. Excellent. I just want to say what an honor it is to have number 6 here. Twisted Communique, Tom Cooper, Chris Graves, otherwise known as Don Knotts, and Jason Barker. Everybody coming into the den like this. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, guys. I had a lot of fun tonight just going over the news. It was cool. I had a long day. I didn't have any time to do show prep at all, like 15 minutes. And I just want to say, thank you guys for coming in, helping me out, making the show a lot better. And I'm just blessed to know all you gentlemen. I mean, really, it's like, it's crazy. It really is. It's surreal to be sitting here with you gentlemen. This time last year, I would not have thought that I would be sitting here with esteemed fellows such as yourselves.
I'm pretty sure if you guys are anything like me, you probably feel alone in this world sometimes with what's going on and what we know. And
all the time.
listening to your guys' shows and stuff. I mean, I fell asleep to Chris Graves last night. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
I do that often.
Yeah. So
I have that effect with the ladies too.
It's comforting and it really helps Jason Barker and Angry Tiger when you guys are talking about finances. When it comes to finances, I don't know a whole lot, but when you guys start talking and you just break it down so simple in language that I can understand, it helps me navigate through life, man. Like especially what's going on, So
well, that's awesome to hear, man, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to break it down for everyone, and it's crazy. It's just they try to make everything complicated, and it's not. They're just all convoluted, right? So
yeah, but I'm able to, lead my kids, my wife, and anybody in my circle like in that direction. Let them know, like, hey, man, they're doing this, they're doing that, and be careful. And so it's working. I know we don't have like a million people listening and stuff, but it's making a ripple effect. All of you guys work. So at number 6 also, I listen. You guys are doing a great thing. So thank God Alex Jones fired David Knight.
Yeah, wow, look at what's happened. So I'm gonna plug real quick for David. Everybody check it out. Hard commodities, like I was saying, that's the way to go. You definitely want to get your hands on something that's real. And to do that, go to davidknight.gold, click join the wolf pack. That'll take you to the den of the wisest of the wolves, Tony Arterburn. And he has a buying group. It's a monthly program. You jump on it, set it, forget it. Start at 50 all the way up to 1,000. There's different price ranges here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to buy gold and silver online, this is the place to do it. Definitely. And that's the way to do it. So we got gold at $2,014.73 per troy unit, per troy ounce. And then we have silver, $24.74 per troy ounce. So, hey, that's where it's at. That's what I think you should do, and that's not financial advice. Check out the David Knight Show, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 12 noon Eastern time. You definitely want to get your geopolitics and all your, this is the place to get your news. That's just the way to say it. Integrity. You're not going to go wrong with David. America Unplugged. These guys are awesome. You got Tony Arterburn, the legendary Don Jeffries, and Billy Ray Valentine, the East Coast host with the most. These guys rock out every Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time to 1 p.m. And it's a lot of fun. They go over the news with the week. Their analysis is spot on, and they have a little bit of fun. They're fun to watch, definitely. Don Jeffries every night. I Protest. You can go to the schedule and check these guys out because it's late and Angry Tiger's hungry. Anyway, but yeah, so there's Don Jeffries. We got Gardner Goldsmith Monday through Friday. Check him out on Rockfin. Eric Peters, check him out. He's on Twitter and epautos.com. We got Charlie Robinson. Check him out with Chris Graves. We got the News Prisoner live right here. He's going to plug himself in a minute. You got Billy Ray Valentine and his also he's got the Fringe. I just checked out the Fringe with Vince yesterday. That was nice. You can check it out on Rockfin. Vince Agnelli and on the Fringe with Billy Ray. It was pretty cool. And then there's Jason Barker's here too, so you can plug himself as well. So hey, let's start with Jason Barker. Where can the good people find you, sir?
I guess I need to unmute myself. Okay, so yeah, I'll be on every Saturday, Nights of the Storm with Angry Tiger and then other guests, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And then I do my Foxhole show on Thursdays at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, Chris will be on with me. We're going to be talking AI.
Yes, so, and don't think the Charlie thing. That's only going to be an hour. So yeah,
No, we're good, and we've been trying to get Charlie on. I'm kind of jealous, brother.
I'm going to talk to him about it. No, I've had him on Get Mad before, and a couple of times. So
yeah, but that's where you can find me. So there you go.
Sweet. Chris Graves, otherwise known as Don Knotts.
Yeah, you can find me in Mayberry, MD, and New Prisoners on Friday at 10 a.m. and not Chucko Chili, but Ochili.com Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm trying to get it so that I can threaten my guests into not canceling. So we can have some decent shows coming up. Kevin Smith might be coming up soon again. And that's about it. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you for having me on.
Excellent. Number 6.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, gentlemen. I love these collaborations that we do. I am number 6 of the New Prisoners podcast. You can find us on Rumble and Odyssey live every Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern Time to 1 p.m.-ish Eastern Time. Also, you can find us at The New Prisoners on pretty much any platform. And the new number 6. So the new number 6 at Twitter, I believe. I think I got that wrong, but you'll be able to find me. All right. Also, big shout out to Chris and Tom Cooper here for contributing content to my channels. And that is New Prisoner 6. There we go. Brain. New Prisoner and the number 6 on Twitter. All right. I think I got it. Excellent.
Nice. Twisted, you got anything you want to plug, brother?
No, man. I'm just on Twitter shit posting all day and following all you guys. I listen to all you guys. That's so crazy. I just appreciate it, Angry Tiger, for letting me in.
No, we appreciate
you, brother. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You are what makes the tick-tock tick. Tom Cooper, where could the good people find you on your now? Plug your show, Tom.
Chris and I will be on Saturdays on Twitter, and then this good gentleman named Six puts all my stuff out everywhere except for YouTube, and I greatly appreciate that, Six.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, so that's about it.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, remember, time is your most valuable commodity. Try not to waste it. Spend it doing something you love, with someone you love, improving yourself, or preferably all 3 of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again.
Your time is your most valuable commodity. Cherish it and use it wisely. Until we meet again.